All right, guys, Mikey here from Mikey's Iron Rage. And guys, I got one hell of a two-part video for use today. And we're going to do it on the Real Deal Chris Cormier at the 1999 Mr. Olympia versus the Real Deal Chris Cormier at the 2000 Arnold Classic. And guys, buckle up because this is going to be one hell of a comparison. Because both competitions, he looks exactly the same. With the red trunks, the same color skin tone. I mean, he looks identical to 1999 at the 2000 Arnold Classic. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I know it was only a 6-month difference, but that's a huge, huge amount of time for a bodybuilder to totally change the way his physique looks. But not Chris Cormier. Chris Cormier was always on point every year, every single fucking year. He was on point. Just a totally underrated bodybuilder, really is. I mean, he lost a bunch of times to Flex Wheeler where he should have won, like 1999, the 2000 Arnold Classic, and there were a few other Arnold Classics that he placed behind Flex Wheeler where he should have placed in front of Flex Wheeler, but I digress again, because at least Chris Cormier didn't need to use any fucking oil. Now, this 1999 Mr. Olympia was just super fucking stacked. You had Ronnie King Coleman, who placed first. You had Flex Wheeler, who placed second. Chris Cormier, who placed third, who I think should have placed second. Then you had fourth Kevin Levrone, fifth Sean Ray, and I think Sean Ray was a little bit better than Kevin Levrone, even though Kevin Levrone is my favorite bodybuilder, but not in 1999. He had a distended midsection in 1999. Then you had Nasser El Sambadi, who ended up placing 6th, and he slipped in placings because the year before this, he placed, 3rd? And the year before that, in 1997 and 1996, he placed 3rd. So he slipped. Then 7th, you had Paul Dillette. Lee Priest placed 8th, who was definitely better than Paul Dillette. The only reason why Paul Dillette won anything, the reason why Paul Dillette placed 7th was because Lee Priest is only 5'4", so he ain't gonna stand up there against no fucking 6'2", 280-pound Paul Dillette, and that's the reason why Lee Priest placed 8th. Then 9th you had Dexter the Blade Jackson. 10th you had Milos Sarcev, who looked really good, by the way, even though he was using a little bit too much oil. He looked really good. Mike Matarazzo placed 11th. Ernie Taylor placed 12th. 14th was Jay Cutler. Jean-Pierre Fuchs placed 15th. And then Marcus Rule, I think, got disqualified. Marcus Rule would have placed 10th, I think, or 9th or 10th if he didn't get disqualified. So what a stacked fucking lineup, though, huh, guys, at this 99 Mr. Olympia. And for Chris Cormier to place 3rd, that's like basically placing 1st. Because like I said, nobody was beating Ronnie Coleman, and Flex Wheeler should have never beat Chris Cormier. So it's like basically placing 1st. I just don't like the dancing that he does. And I think that hurt him. I think that really did hurt Chris Cormier, was his posing routine. I don't like that dancing around bullshit, gyrating your hips like Michael Jackson and shit. I just don't like it. But anyways, guys, look what I'm saying. This is Chris Cormier now at the 2000 Arnold. Look at the fucking physique on him. He looks identical to where he looked 6 months before this at the Mr. Olympia. I mean, what do you guys think? He looks a little bit bigger here, maybe a little more conditioned at the 99 Mr. Olympia, but very, very good. Now, Chris Cormier ended up placing 2nd here, and I totally disagree with him placing 2nd. I think the reason why Flex Wheeler beat him at the 2000 Arnold was because the IFBB thought that that was going to be Flex Wheeler's last competition, because after the 1999 Mr. Olympia, right after the 99 Mr. Olympia, I'm talking about the night of the 1999 Mr. Olympia, Flex Wheeler found out that he had kidney problems, and he was going to have, that he had kidney disease. So I think the IFBB thought that was going to be his last competition, which I think that's what they thought, and they ended up giving it to Flex Wheeler. Now, Flex Wheeler did look really good at the 2000 Arnold Classic. Besides the oil usage, he was very conditioned. He looked really big, but that oil usage was just way, way too much. I mean, it just really threw off his whole physique. Like I always say, it's not really that evident if you don't have a bodybuilding eye, but if you do have a bodybuilding eye, you could definitely notice it. But at the 2000 Arnold, you didn't need a bodybuilding eye to notice that Flex Wheeler was using a shitload of fucking oil. You see what I'm saying? I don't like the way Chris Cormier does that posing routine. I think it hurts him. Now, Besides that, I don't see one flaw on this guy's whole physique. He's got a great back, great hams and glutes. From the front, he's perfect. I mean, look at the V-taper. The V-taper in that front lat spread and rear lat spread is just unbelievable. He's got one of the best front lat spreads and one of the best rear lat spreads in bodybuilding history. He's just got that X-frame, that beautiful V-taper. The only knock that I have on Chris Cormier is he has small forearms. When he hits a front double bicep, his biceps are so big, well, his arms are so big, and his forearms are so small that it makes his forearms look even smaller because his arms are so big. But I digress again. Other than that, Chris Cormier, in my opinion, has one of the most perfect physiques at 5'11", 255 to 260 pounds, which is a perfect height and weight. I think Chris Cormier was one of the best bodybuilders of his generation, but very underrated. Very underrated. There were a lot of competitions which he should have won, but didn't. So let me know what you think, guys. What competition do you think was better? Mikey from Mikey's Iron Rage. Peace out, guys.